Welcome back to another 40k battle report, guys, by Battleforge Brothers. And today we are playing across an Imperial abandoned outpost. As you can see, it is surrounded by a couple of plants, ruins kicking around. And today it is the forces of the Imperium. Classic matchup: Imperium versus the forces of Chaos. Thousand Suns will be taking on new Codex Ultramarines, so it should be a pretty fun-filled game full of new tactical restraints and tactical abilities for them to do as well. And we are playing, we're playing a chapter approved mission today from 2018, playing Disruptive Signals. So we'll obviously go over that in a moment once we look at the army lists. It is Dawn of War deployment, so as you can see, the white dice there is Graham's deployment. That's where the Ultramarines will be deploying their forces today. It is 1500 points, and the black dice will be 1500 points of the Thousand Suns, led by Ahriman himself. So obviously, as you can see, there's a little bit of line of sight blocking terrain. We've got the outpost here, and obviously the industrial section across this side. So these 6 objectives for the game as well, which you'll see these dotted around, which we will cover after we have come back with the army lists. Right, okay, so this is the deployment setup. We'll go through the lists of the armies in a second. But the mission we are playing is Disruptive Signals from Chapter Approved 2018. So it is 6 objectives. So it is Objective 5, just near the ruins and some of the Spellcrow terrain here. We have Objective 4, just on the outskirts of the Ultramarines deployment. Objective 2, just near the ruins and starting to break into the compound. Objective 3 is just in the heart of it. Just coming around this side, we also have Objective 1, just over there, near the Space Marine statue. And then just on the outskirts of the Ultramarines deployment is Objective 6. So it looks as though that the central column that's worked out, this is probably going to be where the heaviest of the fighting is going to be. It looks to be quite interesting. So with Disruptive Signals, we also have Refined Strategy. So me and Graham have both selected 6 cards from our tactical objective deck, reshuffled, and obviously the 6 cards we've selected, they are removed, just obviously refining. So the cards that I've selected is Area Denial, Advance, Behind Enemy Lines, Scour the Skies, Domination, and Big Game Hunter. So they are now removed, so we won't be able to achieve them. And Graham's cards that he's chosen is almost very similar to mine.
Yep, we have.
You've taken out
Area Denial, Big Game Hunter, Psychological Warfare, Scour the Skies, Domination, and Priority Orders Received.
Right, so just very similar cards just taken out, so it just narrows it down and makes some of the cards better to achieve. So they will be removed. The only other thing to go over, of course, will be there is this unique stratagem for this game, which I believe is called Signal Interrupt. It's 1 CP. Each player can do it. So at the start of the battle round, so if it's me that goes first, I can spend a command point to use this, and select one of Graham's objectives for his round, and he can't achieve that. And Graham can also do that for me as well if he wishes. So without further ado, we'll just go on to the Thousand Suns list. So the Thousand Suns, very elite army, as you can see. But we'll start off, so we have the Warlord as Ahriman. We will go through powers afterwards, but we've got Ahriman there, just with his standard Warlord trait. He is the Warlord, which gives him a 3+ invulnerable save. We have the guy, an Exalted Sorcerer, who is just on a disc. He is carrying a relic, which is the Helm of the Third Eye. We have another Exalted Sorcerer just here. He is also carrying a second relic, which I've paid for, which is the Dark Matter Crystal. We have the Demon Prince with the Malefic Talons and Wings. We then have a 10-man squad of Rubiks, just forming a bit of a protection line here. There's 2 Warp Flamers and a Solar Reaper Cannon in there, the rest are all Infernal Bolters. We then have a new unity, which is almost finished, just the basis to finish off, just waiting for me paint to arrive. Of Zangors, just with a Twist Spray in there, all with the Zangor Blades. Just moving over to my right, we have the 3rd Exalted Sorcerer there. Unit 5 Rubiks, so there's 4 Bolters, and then the Aspiring Sorcerer. The Aspiring Sorcerers all just have Infernal Bolt Pistols. Then we have the Hellbrood just for a little bit of heavy support firepower there. and he has the twin las and the missile launcher there as well. And just in the teleportation chambers is a 5-man squad of Scarab Cult, and in that squad is one of the guys has got the Solar Reaper cannon and the Hellfire missile rack. So that is the list done. It is a battalion detachment and a supreme command. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 4. We have 9, but we have already spent one, so we're down to 8. That was just to give us the actual relic. So just for powers, I will have to just potentially go back to my tablet, because there's a lot of powers that's been duplicated. So for Araman, he gets 3 powers. So he has Doombolt, Glamour of Tzeentch, and Tzeentch's Firestorm. Just representing the dice there, just so it makes it easy for me. Then moving on to the Demon Prince. Demon Prince has Warp Time and Prescience. Number 3 is obviously the guy on foot there. He has Infernal Gaze and Gift of Chaos. And number 4, the other one on the disc, has this is where I'm going to have to go back to my tablet, because I'm forgetting his other power, because I don't have enough cards. Just quickly get his powers up. Gift of Chaos. He has Death Hex and Prescience. And then moving on, we have the sorcerers that are in the Rubric squad. So I've chose the powers for these guys. Is just going to be Weaver of Fates, and then the Scarab Cult Sorcerer. Powers that he has chose is Tzeentch's Firestorm. So a couple of powers that have been duplicated, but it just gives us a little bit of tactical flexibility. And apart from that, that's the entire list done. Like I say, Araman's the Warlord, and that is all the powers. And of course, access to Smite across the board as well. So that's the Thousand Suns list. So we'll go and have a look and see what Graham's brought for his Ultramarine force today. It is a bit of a psychic battle. He has brought a few little psychic treats. So let's go and have a look what the Thousand Suns are up against. Okay, so this is 1,500 points of Graham's Ultramarine force. A couple of new models as well. And Graham's just going to run through his list, and of course what formations that he's brought today as well. So I'll hand over to Graham.
Yep, basically we've got 2 formations, and we'll go through the first one at the moment, which is the battalion detachment.
The battalion.
The battalion.
Set up with force there.
We have 3 HQs, Librarian and 4 boss armour.
It's this guy down here, yeah?
That is this guy here.
Oh, that one there, sorry, yeah.
With the Eliminators. And he's taken from the Obscuration discipline. That's his own discipline for the Vanguard Librarian. Yep. And he has taken Shrouding and also Soul Sight.
Nice. So obviously we will explain what these powers do when it comes in battle.
We will, yes. Then we've got a Primaris Chaplain.
He's over here, isn't he?
Yeah. Which he has 2 Lamanites, I think that's how
litanies.
Litanies.
Yeah.
That's how
the new like prayer things that they have, isn't it?
Recitation, I think you said. I cannot talk today.
Recitation.
Right, recitation of focus, and also litany of hate.
Litany of hate as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we've got another Primaris Librarian.
That is this guy, yeah.
Yep, and he's got precognition and telepathic assault.
Okie doke.
Yep, like I say, we'll go through these when we start.
When we actually use them, yeah.
Yep. Onto the troop section, we've got 3 5-man squad of intercessors. They are
so
dotted
1,
about.
2, and then there's 3 over there. There is another one as well.
Yep, that's in the other.
That forms the battalion part of it.
That forms the battalion. In the elite section, we've got the Redemptor Dreadnought. What you see is what you get there.
So he's got the underslung Gatling there as well.
The underslung Gatling, the heavy onslaught Gatling.
Rocket pod. He's on with the teeth of the guy.
The teeth. This one. Then we move on to heavy support, which we've got a Devastator Squadron.
Yeah, these are modelled as Primaris, but they are actually tactical for the purpose of game. I think they look pretty cool. So what you see is what you get there: heavy bolter,
multi-melter, and 2 las cannons.
Okay.
And we've got the new Eliminator squad.
Yes, the new stealthy-looking guys there. So there's 3 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're equipped with the. Is it just like sniper rifles or like bolt snipers or something?
The bolt snipers.
Bolt snipers.
Yeah.
Pretty
bolt
tasty weapon.
Rifles. Oh yes, yeah. Pretty tasty unit, to be honest, and a little tactic I really want to try and get off.
Okay, so Graham's got a plan, which is always good. You've got another unit of intercessors over there as well, yeah?
Yep, so basically this moves into the patrol attachment. So the patrol attachment we've got 2 HQ choices, which is 2 librarians in Terminator armour.
It's these 2 guys
yep,
here, yeah.
The one with the banner is, it has got Sky's gears and, I can't pronounce half of these. M3 channeling. Empheric channeling.
Empheric channeling.
Yeah. The other one has got Storm of the Emperor's Wrath and Psychic Shackles. Okay. And basically all the
some of the new powers, aren't there, from the specific codex.
That is the Librarius set of psychic powers.
Yeah.
We move on to, obviously Stu's mentioned the Intercessor Squad there, and we move on to the elites for that detachment, which is the Aggressor Squad and Terminator Assault Squad.
Yeah,
which are in
they're in deep strike, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they're all equipped with lightning claws, I believe.
All equipped with lightning claws.
Yes, very nice. So they're going to be nice and tasty in combat, especially with the new, what's it called again? The
Assault Doctrine.
Yeah, no, the Angels of Death thing where you get like an extra attack.
The Angels of Death.
But
yes.
Heretic Astartes also get it as well. I think it's called a Hateful Assault, I believe.
But I'm looking forward to be using the Doctrines. I've got a little bit of a plan of how to use them. So obviously we start off with the Devastator Doctrine first.
Yep, and then you can move through the different ones, can't you?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the army list. It looks as though it's going to be quite fun. Let's say there's only 2 vehicles, Dreadnought there and Hellbrute over the other side. So it's pretty much going to be an attrition of troops holding ground. So it should be quite fun. But before we get started, of course, we will have to see who will go first. So obviously the Thousand Suns, they deployed. So we'll get a +1. On a 2 becomes a 3, so it will be Thousand Suns, unless of course Graham can seize the initiative. No. On a 4, he does not. So we will hand over to the Forces of Chaos as they start to sweep through. The Ultramarines preparing, they can sense obviously the traitorous brothers. Let's have a look and see what they can do. Right, okay, so we are just back after movement on turn 1 for Thousand Suns. Just before I mention what we've done, Graham has already played a stratagem. Rapid redeployment, so 2 command points. And how many units was it?
3.
3 units, so which ones have you redeployed?
I moved the Librarian with the Eliminators, and I moved the Intercessors.
The Intercessor Squad just around. Just a bit of tactical redeployment there. Just to mention about cards as well. Cards that we've drawn is Vengeance Long Awaited, which is 1 victory point, or it's D3 if it's Imperium, so obviously it'll be D3. Take a unit out. We have Blood and Guts. Not going to get this turn, obviously with the distance, we're too far away for that. Assassinate the killer character. Probably not going to happen anytime soon. And secure objective 1. So It's highly doubtful we're going to get any of these at this stage because we're just a little bit too far away with Dawn of War deployment and the way that the objectives are stretched out. So what we've done, we've moved up the Exalted Sorcerer on disc here, just coming around the corner. What we're saying is for cover as well. There's obviously for things such as trees, is just line of sight blocking terrain, won't receive cover by being in it. However, things such as the buildings and behind the big rocks formations, obviously will block line of sight, and obviously if you're on them, will gain cover for that. So just moving on, we've moved forward. The Demon Prince has just taken to the skies and just dropped down here. Zangors have advanced, so they moved up 8 inches just along here. A bit of a conga line going on, just quite close to Objective 3. We haven't got it, but just obviously just trying to move through the centre. Backed up with Ahriman, just keeping out of harm's way there. The Rubik's just slowly coming around as well, just with that 5-inch move, just keeping them a little bit slow, followed by the other Exalted Sorcerer. And just on the far right side, the Rubik's just moving around this rocky outcrop here, with the Exalted Sorcerer and the Hellbrute just in heavy support there. So apart from that, that's movement all done. So we'll go to probably the longest phase for Thousand Suns, although Graham does have quite a lot of sighters, so there'll be a lot of denying going on as well. So we'll try and catch any important particular rolls as well, but here's a lot of sighted powers to try and put off. So we'll have to have a think about which powers that we want and where we want them to go as well. So we'll come back probably the middle of Psychic Phase. Right, so we are just back after turn 1, Thousand Suns Psychic Phase. Not as good as what we wanted it, but pretty okay. So what have we done? So first of all, we have cast Prescience onto the Rubik squad. That came from this guy over here. No other powers, just we were going to try to do Smite, but obviously our line of sight has been blocked. Just across this side, we have also cast Glamorous Inch onto the Zangor unit, just to give them a little bit of protection. That came from Ahriman. And Ahriman did pretty much the most damage, casting Doombolt and his other power, Zinch's Firestorm, reducing the aggressor unit down to 1 guy on 1 wound. And we also played a stratagem to do an extra power. So we did Smite and took out one of the Intercessor units. So that Intercessor unit is down to 3 man, and the aggressor unit obviously reduced as well. Just across this side, obviously no powers done because a lot of the powers are more offensive rather than defensive from this guy. And apart from that, that's all the powers done. We did warp time as well from the Demon Prince on the Rubik squad just to get them moving up. And that is pretty much it. So we'll just go into the shooting phase, and we will come back to see what type of things that we want to do. Just to mention before we do go back into that, we were, well we still are, 24 inches away from Graham's Librarians, so he wasn't able to deny any of our powers at this stage. But apart from that, we'll just we'll have a bit of a deliberation about where we want our firepower to go. There's not a great deal at this stage, and then we will just come back with the results from that. Right, so we are just back after shooting phase and the end of turn 1 for Thousand Suns. We didn't catch shooting or anything on camera at the stage, just there wasn't a lot of it to do. So basically what we've done is we shot the sword cannon just in range, managed to finish off the aggressor unit and gave us first blood. And this lonely guy here, just a single shot from Infernal Bolt gun, attempting at the Intercessor unit 3-man squad there, and missed. Just across this side, the Hellbrute just whittling down the Intercessor unit here, as whittling down with firepower from his missile launcher and las cannon down to a squad of 2. So it should be okay, but we'll have morale, potential morale there. Obviously no assaults, we're miles away from any assaults. None of the other bolters were in range, and obviously both pistols for the rest of the guys. So that is the end of the turn. And points wise, we got 1 for first blood for killing the aggressors, and we did roll a 3 on a D3 result, because for the Vengeance Long Awaited, it is D3 points for killing a unit if they are Imperium. So we rolled a 3, so that puts the Thousand Suns onto 3 points. But of course, we are going to hand over to Graham for his turn 1. See what cards that he pulls out and see what little sneaky tactics that he's going to try and do. And we'll come back after his movement. Right, so we are just back after movement on Battle Round 1, Turn 1 for the Ultramarines. So cards that Graham has pulled out on this turn. He has got Secure Objective 5, which is just at the moment with the rubrics and the Hellbrute. Assassinate, which is to kill a character. Kingslayer, I believe that is to kill the Warlord. And the other one is the Witch Hunter, to kill a Psyker. So obviously I've got a lot of Psykers, so I have played the stratagem that is unique to this particular scenario, which is to intercept and signal interrupt. So it's 1 command point, and I chose that one, which means that Graham can't for this turn, doesn't get rid of it, just means for this turn he can't achieve it. Just to try and shut that power down. So what's he done? So the morale was fine here. So these two guys have just moved up onto Objective 4. It's closely and supported by their other battle brothers. And just around the corner, looking the opposite way with the support of the Librarian, these are the Eliminators.
Yeah.
With the Librarian there. Which one's your Warlord again?
Warlord is the Chaplain.
The Chaplain, right. Okay, so the Warlord just with the Devastators. And the Devastator's got a bit of a nice line of sight over here. So no doubt they're probably going to want to go for the Hellbrute. Just to try and get rid of that threat there. Or of course he could redirect it elsewhere. Just in support, the Librarian's kind of little conclave here, just supporting the Intercessor unit there. Dreadnought has just come around the corner with supporting his battle brothers down here as well. More than likely looking to try and get some shots off at the Thousand Sun Sorcerer, but he is protected, just because we did say obviously that the trees do block line of sight. So he may get a couple of shots in. We'll have to see where he puts his powers, his shots. But of course, speaking of powers, we are going to go into Psychic Phase. We're not going to bother recording much of the Psychic Phase at this stage because we're being early. But of course, we will catch anything that is really important that may change the game. So we'll come back once Graham has decided where his powers want to go. See if we can deny any and come back once Psychic is complete. Right, so we are just back after Psychic Phase. Not massively eventful. So Graham's cast a couple of powers. So from the 4-boss Librarian, this unit is shrouded, is it?
Yep, that unit is shrouded. So basically, if it's not the closest enemy unit, you can't shoot him.
Can't shoot him.
Yeah.
And then he also tried to do Soul Sight but failed, didn't he?
No, I got that off.
Oh,
no, I didn't.
No,
no,
yeah,
sorry.
you failed.
I did fail that.
Moving across for these guys.
We got Precognition.
Did peril as well, so he's down to 3 wounds.
Yeah, he's down to 3 wounds. Precognition, which gives him a 5+ invuln. Anything else? That's just about it, really.
This guy tried to cast. What was the power for him?
He tried to cast was the Etheric Channeling.
Yeah, basically it's kind of like you can either regain a command point or give a buff, can't you?
That's Skyra's Great.
Oh, that's Skyra's Gears, yeah.
He also tried to do that.
And Armin,
he was
denied.
just out of range for anything that he had.
His powers are out of range.
Yeah.
Okie doke, so that's all of Psychic Phase done. So we'll come back just with the shooting. We'll get some shooting on camera as well. But obviously we'll come back once Graham's decided where he wants to start. Okay, so we are just opening up the shooting phase for Ultramarines. So the Devastator squad, there's only 2 that's in range. There's no other viable targets for the other guys. But the 2 lance cannons are going to take a long shot at the Hellbrute here. So the Signum has been enacted as well. So one of these guys will be hitting on 2s.
Yep, the green dice is hitting on 2s.
And of course, Devastator Doctrine is in effect here as well. So green dice hitting on 2s. Okay, so he does hit.
Command re-roll that one.
So Graham is going to re-roll. It does hit. I will roll to see if for Helmet of the Third Eye. No, we don't get a command point back this time. Okay, so 2 hits. With Devastator Doctrine, the AP is improved. So Lance Cannon's usually a -3, I believe.
Yeah.
So these will be becoming minus 4. But of course, you do need to wound me first.
Strength 9.
Strength 9 for the Hellbrute, I believe he is toughness 7. So it'll be 3s to wound. Okay, so 1 wound does come through. And that is -4. So we don't get a save because we do only have a 3+. So D6 damage. Okay, it is 4 wounds dropped. So that is quite tasty. That is half killed him. So that puts the...
I needed that with the dice.
Yeah, you did, yeah. But not this turn. So he is reduced down to 4 wounds there. Still ticking. But he potentially... actually, he might go crazed. Yeah, so at the end of the shooting phase, this guy may go a bit berserk, but we'll cover that in a second. So that's the Devastator's firing there. Any more shooting this side?
Am I within 30? I'm just taking pot shots at your rubrics. Yeah.
Okay.
So this squad's going to fire at the rubric.
Firing at the rubric squad. 5 shots. The obviously bolter discipline and things like that are in play.
2 shots.
But the guys at the back obviously have where they've all moved, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they won't get bolter discipline.
They won't get bolter discipline because
if they're in rapid fire, of course, they still will.
Yeah. So 2 shots from here.
Okay, so the 2 front guys hitting on 3s.
Both hits.
So both hit.
Strength 4, toughness
4, yeah, 4s.
Both wound.
Okay, they are -1, but damage 1, aren't they?
-1 damage.
Yeah, okay, so all his dust will come into effect, so just 3 ups. Okay, so we do lose 1 rubric. I'm going to take off just the back guy here.
Right, and the squad behind it.
5 shots, hitting on 3s. Okay, so pretty decent firepower from the Ultramarines here, and forced to wound. 1 wound comes through, obviously minors and then plus, so 3 up. We do pass that one, so rubric squad is fine there. So that's these 2 intercessor units here. Across this side, however...
Would I get shots?
Well, line of sight. We did say that these are blocking line of sight.
Yeah.
So won't be able to fire at that guy. Wait, even so, Zangors may potentially have been the closest target, but not really in effect because line of sight blocking terrain for the trees.
I am going to fire at your Zangors because I can see them through
the windows. Yeah. So just to give you a view, yeah, through the windows. So shooting from the intercessors, yeah.
Yep.
Hitting on 3s. Okay, that is the R toughness 4, surprisingly enough, so wound on 4s.
1 wound.
1 wound. It should have been minuses for glamours each, but that's fine. So 5 up in run. So 1 Zangor is removed, which we will take off the back guy here. Okay, so we'll come back obviously after Graham's deliberated where the, because he's obviously got the Dreadnought to fire as well, but I don't think he's going to be able to see a great deal.
Dreadnought can't say much. Intercessor squad
unit
down to your rubrics.
That's the rubric squad. Yeah. Okay, so 3 shots hitting on 3s, hitting on 4s because of glamours each. No, hitting on 3s. It was the Zangors that were glamoured.
So yep, 2 hits. 2
hits and forced wound. 1 wound does come through. We'll get a 3 up because of all his dust, which we do pass. So the rubric armor holding out there, and just I think that's pretty much it apart from your potential sniper fire there.
Eliminators. No, I need to just digress of where
you want to go. Not a problem. We'll come back once Graham's decided with this one. Okay, so we are just back after shooting and the end of turn 1 and battle round 1. The Marines are a little bit unlucky. I mean, they did a little bit of damage in regards to firepower. So we received, obviously we'd seen the damage done at the Hellbrute here. A couple of other pot shots as well, trying to whittle down this squad, took 1 rubric out. And that was pretty much it. These sneaky guys, Graham played a stratagem, I can't remember the name of it, but it basically allows like an automatic hit for their weapon. So one of them automatically hit Armin, because these guys can target characters. So we did check line of sight. This is going to be a little bit hard, but just through here, obviously I can't drop it any further down, but they did have line of sight at Armin. So Graham did 2 wounds, obviously 1 being an automatic hit and 1 actually hitting. The third one split fire with a mortis round and took a random pot shot at the Hellbrute and did no damage there. 2 wounds did come through, but Armin's psychic abilities, his invulnerable save, he's just laughing them shots off. You can just imagine him hovering above and just psychically blocking the bullets and just flicking them aside and laughing at them, at the fools of the Imperium. And apart from that, obviously the Dreadnought didn't have any line of sight, unfortunately, at this point for Graham. Lucky for me, just a little bit of agreed at the beginning of the game that the trees would provide line of sight blocking, but not cover. So Graham unfortunately couldn't get line of sight on this guy here. but I am going to have to be careful with them. So I'm going to have to probably move them about. So cards achieved at that turn, Grim. Unfortunately, he didn't achieve any points at this stage, but of course he will. It is only the first couple of turns, so we'll go into turn 2 for the Thousand Suns. We'll see what cards we get and see what Psychic Might we can dish out. We need to kind of try and... I'm not really 100% sure what my strategy is at this point in the game, whether to kind of concentrate and envelope around this way, use the terrain, or whether to just go straight through and punch a hole into the centre. The only worry about that is, of course, if we punch a hole through the centre, then of course we have the Dreadnought on this side and the squads there. But we'll have to have a look and see what we can do. So we'll come back once cards have been drawn and movement's been completed for Thousand Suns on turn 2. Right, so we are just back after movement completed for Thousand Suns on turn 2. So cards we have Defend Objective 4, which is over there, held by the Space Marines at the stage. Going to ignore that one for now. Just we're a little bit too weak on this flank to kind of push for it. We've still got Assassinate. We have Ritual Slaughter, which we have to kill 9 models to get that. So we'll have to keep account of what we do. And of course we have also claimed Secure Objective 1. So movement-wise, the rubrics have stayed still, as has the Hellbrood. The Exalted Sorcerer has just jumped over forward a little tiny bit. Rubrics, of course, are a little bit closer just to protect that character, just to lend some support. Over this side, the rubrics have just shifted up. I was tempted to be a little bit defensive with the Demon Prince, but I think I'm going to have to be aggressive with him. Wanting to try and get some shots into these, or potentially whittle some of this down maybe as a charge. The other Exalted Sorcerer just here to lend a hand. Maybe potentially in the Psychic phase, maybe at a warp time himself and go forward and try and... I think we're going to have to be aggressive here to pull a little bit of the pressure and a little bit of distraction techniques. And just so it might end up frightening the Marines to take care of the Demon Prince. May sacrifice him, but then of course it leaves the rest of the other Psychics safe. I think that's probably what we're going to try. Rubrics, however, obviously they're just coming forward just to lend some fire support. Zangors have advanced just up here. Maybe in the next turn, potentially get a charge up there. And Armin, just keeping out of harm's way for now, going to lend some Psychic support as well. And just across this side, we've moved up with the Exalted Sorcerer on the disc. And just at the end, we have Deep Struck the Terminators. Just we have got Secure Objective 1 there. So I think what we're going to do is we're not going to bother charging. We're just going to try and Psychic Assault them and blast. May potentially be able to whittle the Dreadnought down as well. But we'll have a look and see what we do in Psychic phase. So we'll come back in a moment. Right, so we are just back after the Psychic phase for Thousand Suns. Pretty lengthy phase, actually. A lot of decent powers going off. So starting over here, the Aspiring Sorcerer, he is dead because he perilled, but he did manage to cast Weaver of Fates just to protect this Rubric squad, just to give them a little bit more invulnerable protection. Over this side, the Demon Prince is not there anymore because he warp timed himself over to here. He is out of an inch there as well. And also, Glamour of the Inch was cast on him from Armin. Armin has been on fire. Armin's been casting his powers left, right and centre. So he's been diminishing this squad down here. And obviously providing the buffs onto the Demon Prince. Across this side, just a couple of mortal wounds dished out by the Terminator Sorcerer and the Exalted. Just reducing one of them down, killed, and 1-on-1 wound. And Prescience cast onto the Terminator squad there. And just across this side from this Exalted Sorcerer, just hiding there, managed to wipe out the last 2 remaining Intercessors. That was a combination of Tzeentch's Firestorm and Smite there as well. Doombolt being cast by Armin to reduce them down there. So apart from that, Psychic phase is all complete. Graham's quite happy that that's finished because it is a bit brutal from Thousand Suns. So we do have a little bit of firepower to do. I'm just going to decide where I want to start, and then we'll catch some on camera as well. So as we start to get deeper in, we'll obviously get more camera shots as well of the dice rolls. So we'll come back once I've decided where I want to start, and then we'll begin. Right, we are just in the midst of the shooting phase. So we've shot the rubrics up and removed the intercessor unit there. And just a random pot shot from a rubric here, just into that squad, did no damage. So we are just going to open up with the Hellbrute, 48-inch range, firing it straight through at the back, just near where Graham's tape measure is, at the Devastator squad. So we're going to fire the crack missile first. So it is heavy one, but this guy hasn't moved. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play a tasty little stratagem. We're going to play Fire Frenzy. So what this does is, well, it's a little bit of a reflection on the light, but if I haven't moved, I can fire all of my weapons twice. But all of its attacks must be against the... I'm not going to do that because it's got to be the nearest target. But, oh well, bit of a mess up on words there. But I suppose it saves me a command point. Right, so in that case though, I will just fire everything over at the Devastator still anyway. So the missile launcher, we're going to fire a crack missile. So it is heavy 6, but we haven't moved. So, no, it's heavy 6. Or heavy D6.
Aye, so I said heavy D6.
Oh, I thought it said D3. That is a 1. I am going to spend a command point and do a reroll for that. It's obviously, it must be. Might as well get them out of the way now, I suppose, before we fire the last cannons. So we are hitting on 3s, rerolling any 1s because the Exalted Sorcerer have been there. So we do hit. It's strength 8, toughness 4 for them guys. 2s to wound. Okay. That's that. Yeah, it's just missiles just firing straight up at the sky. The last cannons, hitting on 3s, reroll any 1s. Of course we get a 2. And 2s to wound. Okay, there's a wound, and that is -3, and it'll be D6 damage. Okay, so that is a fail, and wait, one of them will be killed.
Yeah.
So it'll be
question is which one?
Yeah, there's a 4. So yeah, which one is Graham going to take off?
Heavy bolter.
He's taking the heavy bolter off. Okey-doke. Right, so we are going to come over to here, and I'm going to play another stratagem actually. So I'm going to play Veterans of the Long War. So it is a bit of a another one. Command. This is an actual, a real one that I can actually use rather than the other one that I didn't read properly. So we add 1 to all wound rolls.
I'm actually gonna.
Oh, Graham's got something in the mix here.
Use this stratagem when an Ultramarine unit from your army is just. Oh no, sorry, I can't.
We are just totally messing up with our stratagems here, aren't we? Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split fire here as well. So I'm going to fire the. It's a bit of a tricky one, but I'm going to fire the Soul Reaper cannon into the intercessor unit, and then I'm going to fire the Hellfire missile rack, and everybody else is going into the Dreadnought. So what I'll do is I just need to double check, because with Veterans of the Long War I may have to target everything. No, it just says add 1 to all wound rolls made for the unit, so it doesn't mean specific model that I have to shoot at, so that's fine. So we'll do the Soul Reaper cannon guy first, because he's going to put all of his firepower into the intercessor unit. So Soul Reaper cannon. These guys are prescienced as well, so they will be effectively hitting on 2s. Okay, so we have 2 cocked dice. Just move that out of the way. Okay, so they all hit. And they are, well, it would essentially be 3s because it's strength 5, but now it's 2s to wound because of Veterans of the Long War. Okay, so we get 3 wounds coming through. This is from the Soul Reaper cannon, and that is -3 to their save. So 3 6-up saves, 1 damage a time. Okay, so one's already on 1 wound anyway, and then another guy's going to die as well because the 2 wound models, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okey-doke. So that's that. As for the Hellfire missile rack, That is heavy 2. So we are hitting on 2s. Rerolling the 1 because of the Exalted Sorcerer being in the unit. So it does hit. So both hit. The Hellfire Missile Rack is strength 8. So that would be 2s that would be hitting. So effectively be 1s. But
what are you hitting on?
This is against the rest of the Intercessor unit.
Alright, yeah.
So that would be 1. 1 wound comes through.
Yeah.
And that is from the Hellfire Missile Rack -2 D3 damage. So 1 5-up save.
No.
Nope. And D3 damage. We do get 3, so that is another 1 removed. That reduces that unit down to just the 1 man left. So he will have morale to worry about. So next, we do have 4 combi bolters, and these all going into the Dreadnought. So they do get bolter discipline, so it's 4 shots a time. So we have, oh yes, he's got one as well. So just get that dice, handful of dice here. Okey-doke. So because the prescience, just trying to grab these dice, hitting on 2s against the Dreadnought, and re-rolling any 1s for the Exalted Sorcerer being within 6 inches. So re-roll these 2. Okay, we do get another 1 and another hit. So all these hits. And what's the toughness of the Redemptor again? Is it 7? So these would be effectively wounded on 5s usually, but because of Veterans of the Long War, we're now wounded on 4s because we added 1. Okay, so do get a few failed wounds. Okay, so not too bad from just a standard Infernal Combi Bolter. We do get 6 wounds come through, and the Infernal Combi Bolter is -2 and 1 damage a time.
5 ups.
Okay. Okay, so survives 1.
5.
So, yep, 5 wounds are dropped from the Dreadnought.
Puts him onto 5 wounds.
Puts him onto 5 wounds, yes, because he did take some damage earlier.
Yeah.
In the game. So he is wounded. We knew we weren't going to kill him. We just want to try and reduce the effectiveness of that particular unit there. And apart from that, that's all of the shooting done. We do have 1 assault to set off, and that is going to be the Demon Prince. He is going to multi-charge. He's going to charge into the Librarian and the... what's that unit called? The Eliminators.
Eliminators, yeah.
Of course, Graham will get the option of Overwatch here, so we'll see what he wants to do with that, because he might have some tricks up his sleeve for that, and then we'll roll up, actually, we'll roll up now. I know it's not exactly in the right order, but just to see if we get in. Yes, we'll definitely get in on 11, so he is going to be in, so we'll come back once Graham has decided Overwatch, and we'll catch the combat on camera. Right, okay, so we are just completing our charges. Graham did get 1 hit from these guys on Overwatch, but didn't do any damage. So we are going to put our attacks, we're going to attack we get 7 attacks in total with our Malefic Talons. So we're going to put 4 into the unit here, and then the other 3 is going to go into the Librarian. So the 4 on these guys first. These are hitting on 2s, so we'll just scoot that there just for the time being. Hitting on 2s, reroll any 1s for his own bubble. So they all hit. And with the Malefic Talons, I believe they are strength of the user, yep, so it'll be strength 7 against toughness 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be 3s to wound. Oh!
Nice.
That is terrible. A 2 in triple 1.
Nice.
That is really, really bad. Really, really bad. Okay, let's see if we can hit the Library. Hitting on 2s. Rerolling the 1 for his own bubble. Okay, 3 hits. Winning on 3s. Does not like combat, this guy, at all. We do get 1 wound after all of that. 1 wound. With the Malefic Talon, it's -2 and 2 damage.
It's 2 2 damage. So
Yep.
it's one room. -2.
So it's his standard save.
5
3
up.
up. 3 up
3,
normal,
yeah,
is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 up.
6.
Does get a 6 and passes that. So, yeah, Demon Prince, well done, mate. You did nothing.
Can I attack now?
Yes, you can. Who are you attacking with first?
Librarian first.
Okay.
He gets 4 attacks. And he's doing it with his 4 sword. Obviously, all at your librarian, so hitting on 3s.
Will be hitting on 4s because of glamour.
Right.
Glamour is H. It's not just a shooting.
So,
He's hit better than I did.
yeah, we like fine.
Okay, 4 sword.
4 sword, which is the strength of the user, so strength 4.
Toughness. Toughness of the Demon Prince. Toughness 6. So it'll be 5s to wound.
No.
No, these are locked in Mortal Kombat. What about your normal guys?
Eliminators, 3 attacks from the sergeant, 2 attacks for...
Oh, have you factored in the attacks for Angel of Death?
No, because I didn't.
Is it only if you charge?
You
is
charge
it?
me.
I thought it was if you're charged as well.
No, you charge me.
Right.
If every man
In fact, I should have been getting rerolls as well for... Although I don't think he's not heretic to start, he's the Demon Prince. So he won't get it.
Right, okay, so my attacks, 3 attacks for the sergeant, 2 for the normal guys, and I'm hitting on 3s.
4s. Because of glamour.
Yeah.
Okay, strength 4 normal.
Yeah.
Okay, it'll be 5 to wound.
2 wounds.
2 wounds, just standard save.
Standard, yeah.
Okay, so 3 up. Okay, we do lose 1 wound. That brings him down to 7 wounds. And that is, as they say, is that. So that is the end of the turn. We'll just come back round to the Thousand Suns side. So the points that we've gained at that, we'll just need to calculate Ritual Slaughter. Objective 4, we haven't got that. Assassinate, kill a character. I don't believe we have that.
Nope.
But we do score for secure objective 1. So we can trade that one in. So that will give us 1 point so far. Okay, that puts us on 4. And I think, yeah, we're happy to keep them at this stage. No, actually, I'm going to get rid of defend objective 4. So we'll get a shot of that. Okay, so just need to work out, just in case, how many models that we've killed for Ritual Slaughter. Because we did have to kill 9. Yeah. Yeah. We'll have to go back and just double check on some footage, just to see if I've gotten that. But we'll be 1.
6,
We'll come back
7,
in a
8,
moment.
9. Yeah, you have. You've gotten it.
Right, I think Nurgle is infested here. There's a bit of a bad smell. Yeah, Graham's definitely infesting the place with his body burps. So anyway, apart from that, just at the end of that round, we just had to double check through some of the footage for ritualistic slaughter because we have to kill 9 models. So we did. So we killed 2 there. Then there was 3 over here. That makes 5. And then the 4 Marines here made 9. Then in morale, that guy fizzled away. So that puts the Thousand Suns on 5 points at this stage. And we're going to go into turn 2 for the Ultramarines. They're not out of it yet. Obviously, they've still got... I mean, the Dreadnoughts, obviously, he is limping along, but he's still there. But, of course, they do have a Demon Prince in their lines now, which he is in combat. Obviously, they'll be able to fall out with things like Ultramarines Doctrine. But, obviously, just looking around here, it just keeps them away from the weaker units, things like Armin. Graham's just currently left the room at the moment. So, just a little bit of tactics. Bit of a risk pulling him into here, but... I think what's going to happen here is these guys are going to probably fall out of combat, probably try to get some shots at this, but it will be minors because they'll be moving, unless Graham has any strategies, of course. But it means that the rest of his lines are more than likely going to come round here, and I'm hoping that he draws the firepower from the Dreadnought, as well as the remaining Devastators team. So he's not the Warlord, so it's okay if he goes, be a bit of a blow, but it means that the rest of this unit, so the Zangors, Ahriman, the Rubrics, they can all pile through, and then hopefully by our turn 3, we should be pretty much past this piece of terrain and start to be able to dish out some mortal wounds. So hopefully we'll see what happens. And of course, just over this side, we've still got a relatively okay little Hellbrute there. But I think Graham's probably going to try and pull everything around to kill that Demon Prince. So we'll come back once Graham's decided what he wants to do on his turn 2. So we're just coming back after movement for the Ultramarines on their turn 2. So the cards that Graham has pulled out, he's still got Kingslayer, Assassinate, kill a character, Champions of the Imperium. What's that one again?
Score 1 victory point if at least one enemy character was destroyed, but in the result of an attack made by an Ultramarines unit from your army this turn. Score D3 victory points instead. If you kill more.
Like, I think it's 3, is it?
If the enemy warlord was destroyed.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah.
And secure objective 6, which I believe is over here, which is held by the Redemptor Dreadnought, who stayed stationary. So just for movement, a lot of these guys have just pulled forward. The chaplain has advanced, and he has at the beginning he did cast his litany of hatred, was it?
Yeah.
Hate. So that's going to buff in combat. The Devastators have stayed stationary, I believe, and the Terminators have deep struck down as well. Graham did play a stratagem, which I can't remember the name of it.
Fall back and re-engage.
Yeah, 1 command point. So these guys have fell out of combat.
I don't get the penalty for it.
Yeah, no penalty for them moving. So that is that done. So Graham does have some set powers to do as well. So we will come back once he's decided which powers and where he wants to go. Right, we are just back after turn 2 Ultramarine PSYCHIC phase. A lot of smites mainly being cast at the Demon Prince. This guy over here casting Shrouding onto the Eliminators. Also attempted to cast Soul Sight but failed. Graham not too bothered if that power went off. It was more the protection for them. So we did deny quite a lot of smites. We also denied a big smite as well. That came from Armin, just that +1 helping. However, the Primaris Librarian, showing them how it's done, did get a D3 mortal wounds and reducing the Demon Prince down to 4. So he is in trouble there. Not out of it yet, but he's in trouble. So that's the psychic phase all done. So Graham will be going into shooting phase, so we'll catch some of this on camera. But we'll just come back when he's decided where he wants to open up with his firepower. Right, so we are just in the middle of the shooting phase. So Graham so far has fired some bolt rounds just down and killing one of the rubrics, took one off the back. The sniper guys, without the hitting on the fours, that's not because they retreated. Graham did play a strategy for that. It's just because they're heavy weapons. And then he played another stratagem, which is, I can't remember the name of it, but it's an automatic hit. We did get our 1 command point back for Helm of the Third Eye. So hitting the Exalted Sorcerer and brought him down to 2 wounds. And like I say, 1 rubric being killed there. So we do have another some firepower coming in from the Devastators. So it is split fire. So 2 las cannons, as expected, coming in at the Hellbrute. And then a multi-melter is going to go across into the Scarab Cult Terminators. So are you using the Signum for one of them?
Yep, so the green one's hitting on 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't forget about your Signum. So, green hitting on 2. Okay, they both hit. And the Strength 9 against Toughness 7, 3s, yep. Ooh, they both go through. And because Devastator Doctrine's still in effect, it'll be -4 to the AP.
Yeah.
This guy is pretty much knacked because he's only got 4 wounds left. He does not get a save for that. So, see what happens. A 4 is enough to kill him. And overkill. Does he explode on a roll of a 6? Oh, he does explode.
Well out the way.
Yes. So anything within 3 inches suffers D3 mortal wounds. So that's pretty...
Come on, get 2 on you.
D3 mortal wounds on the Sorcerer.
I need this.
You do need it.
Yes.
It is 2 wounds. He is dead. Okay, so that'll be a point scored for Graham there. In fact, it might be 2.
It is.
So the rubrics, they suffer 1. So that is these guys removed, and obviously the Hellbrood goes up in a burst of flames. So this guy's just like thinking, what's going on? He's just witness speaks in like a Dusty style voice. What's going on here? And of course the multi-melter. It's not within. Well, it doesn't really matter against these guys for the penetration factor there.
The multi-melter.
But he's not in half range anyway. And this is against the Terminators.
Hitting on threes.
Hitting on threes. He does fail.
Yeah.
You don't have like a captain or anybody nearby to give them that, so
Nothing
he does
like
fail. And that's pretty much it apart from the Dreadnought.
Got the Dreadnought. I don't know what I'm doing with that yet.
No problem at all. So we'll come back after the end of shooting. But pretty good. It doesn't really affect the Thousand Suns that much, but for Graham's points wise, a valuable target has been removed there. And effectively it means that these guys can start to sweep around. We will have to do morale for this guy at the end of the turn, but that's our right flank removed. Very good play from the Ultramarines there. So we'll come back once Graham's shooting phase is finished, and we'll cover obviously assault to see what he plans to do with the Demon Prince in the back line there. Right, so we are just back after shooting phase for the Ultramarines. So some pretty decent firepower obviously that we've seen down here. This guy obviously is just on his own. And obviously the firepower that we mentioned there. So the multi-melter took a wound off a Terminator, and then the Redemptor fired everything he could, obviously just with the minuses with his bracket, failing. But the rocket pod was the one that managed to take the wound off and kill one Terminator there. So pretty decent actually, removing a Terminator, a bit of a threat. So that's the shooting phase done. Graham's not currently here at the moment, but he has said that he does want to do some charges. So there is the three librarians are going to try and go into the Demon Prince, and then the Terminators are going to attempt to get into charge with the Zangors down here. So we'll wait for him to come back, see if he gets in, and we'll cover combat. Right, so Graham's just returned from the warp, so he's got his assaults to do first. So I think these three are going to attempt to get into the Demon Prince.
Yeah.
And then the Terminators are going to try and get into combat with the Zangors.
Yeah.
Okie doke, so where are you starting first?
Library. Into
the Demon Prince. Okay, pretty short roll.
Yeah.
Okay, on a 7, that'll definitely get him in.
Yeah, so we'll...
So 7 inches does mean that you can obviously position him correctly. So he's just going to go around the front. Might as well move on with assaults in a moment.
And then the
Primaris one.
Primaris one.
Yep, 7 inches.
Again.
Yep, he's
Looks
as though he's going on the other side.
This side. Coming at you for all angles.
Okay.
And the second Terminator one.
Yep.
That is 6, 7 again.
Yeah. Oh, lucky 7s. Looks as though he's
Just
going
go
to the back.
Yeah.
Okie doke.
Right. So then we've got the
Terminators. Bit of a stretch for them.
Yeah, I am actually going to change my dice.
Some lucky dice here coming in. So we'll see if we'll come back.
Find them.
We'll all right. Needing
big roll.
A big roll here.
8 from what I counted.
4 will not get you in.
No.
These don't have any shoot weapons, so you haven't got anything like that to worry about. So we might as well just roll on with the assaults.
Right. So obviously with the new rules for the Space Marines, I do get the +1 to my attacks.
Yes, you do for the assault. I can't remember what it's called. It's part of the Angels of Death rule, isn't it?
Yeah. Right.
Okay. So the Ultramarines are ready. Obviously with the new Angels of Death, they all get extra attacks, but so do we for Heretical Fury. So who are you starting off with, then, Graham?
We'll start with the Terminator Library.
That's
the one with the banner.
The one with the banner at the back, yeah? Okay.
So he gets 3 attacks, but with the new rule, he gets 4.
He gets an extra one, yeah?
Yep. And we're hitting on 3s.
Okay, you will be hitting on 4s.
Hitting on 4s.
Because of Glamorous Inch.
Yeah.
So hitting on 4s against the Demon Prince.
What a crap roll.
Yeah. So unfortunate. So 1 hit.
Yep, and we use
Force Stave?
Force Stave, yep. which is +2 to the strength, so strength 4.
Strength 6 against the Demon Prince's toughness is 6, so it'll be forced to wound.
Forced to wound. Nothing.
Does fail the wound. He does have 2 pals to help him out though.
Yep, so we're going to go to the other librarian.
The other Terminator one?
Yep.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
4s.
4s.
Glamours each.
Yeah. Oh, just the same again. Right, so
is it going to come down to the Primaris? Is he going to show them how it's done again?
Right, so Primaris, standard he gets 4.
Yep, and 5 for the new rule.
Assault.
Yep,
hitting
so
on 4s. Yes, he is.
Yeah, he is going to show them how. So 3 hits.
Just a little bit.
It could be enough.
Right, he is using the Force Sword.
Force Sword.
So I'll just get the information for that.
So just that's this guy down here.
The Force Sword, which is strength of the user, strength 4.
Against toughness 6, be 5 to wound.
Oh my lord! Brutal rules.
The demon is obviously resisting the Ultramarines here. So it is over to us now. So we do get the Heretical Fury. So he standardly gets 7 attacks because of his Malefic Talons and an extra 1 for Heretical Fury. So we are just going to plough all of this and we're going to plough it into, I think we're going to go for the guy at the back, the Terminator at the back there, the one with the cape.
Okay.
So we are hitting on 2s with our weapon skill. We re-roll the 1s for our own bubble. I'll just double check that it is for all hits. Yes, it is. I just had to triple check to make sure it wasn't fair shooting. So re-rolling these. Okay, they all hit. With the Malefic Talons, it is strength of the user, which is strength 7 against your toughness of 4. So this would be 3s to wound. Okay, he's angry now. So that is 3, 4, that's 5 wounds with the Malefic Talons at -2 and 2 damage a time. Right, I just had to quickly double check because I keep forgetting about it. Death to the False Emperor. So I did go back, I've showed Graham as well, just to make it all fair. I did get 2 6s, so I have generated 2 extra hits, and I did get 2 5s to wound. So we have 2, 4, 6, that is 7 wounds on that guy at -2. So that'll be 4 up saves and 2 damage a time. How many wounds have we got? So failed 1, 2,
3, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah, he's dead.
He's dead.
Yep. Okay, so that is that character removed.
So what was that? That was 2. Okay. Yep.
And obviously his powers will be gone as well. So that is the end of the assault phase. Obviously the Terminator's failing to get in. There's still a threat back there, of course. But we hand over to the Thousand Suns. But just before, which cards did you achieve today, sir?
Yes, so we got Secure Objective 6.
Yep, which is over there with the Dreadnoughts.
Yep,
just comfortably holding that.
Got Assassinate of the nice little explosion over there.
Yes, yes,
character.
that was good.
And we got Champions of the Imperium.
Which is essentially the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just one's an Ultramarine, one's a standard tactical.
Okay, so 3 points scored, is that?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, 3 points scored in that. That puts the Ultramarines onto 4 against the Thousand Suns 5.
Brings
so
us back into the game.
Yeah, it does bring the Ultramarines are not out of the fight yet. You never know how 40k can go, but we will just hand over to the Thousand Suns on their turn 3. Would you believe it? It is only turn 3, and there's already so much carnage going on. It may be a bit of a short game, but we'll have a look and see what we can do. Right, so we are just back after movement for Thousand Suns on their turn 3. Cards that we have Supremacy, Master the Warp, Defend Objective 5, which is over here. We're not going to get that anytime soon. And Defend Objective 1, which is what the Terminators are on. So, just in response, Graham's used his last command point to deny me Master the Warp. So I can't achieve that this turn. But it does leave us some options still. So what we've done is we've moved the... Rubrics have just moved up through here just to get some shots at the Terminators. And, of course, the Exalted Sorcerer, he's just moved across here. Just to get in range of Objective 2 and some potential psychic powers at these guys. Or some potential helping out this way. Araman has just shifted up onto Objective 3. Just still having line of sight through here, just to cast some buffs if needed. The Demon Prince is just staying in combat, just going to hopefully see what he can do. And across this side, just a quick little shuffle. The Terminator is just forming a bit more of a line, and the Sorcerer, weirdly enough, is actually going to go in front, just to see if it can potentially get some sight power either at the Dreadnought or potentially just round here at the back lines of the Ultramarine deployment. So with that being done, we are going to go into the Psychic phase. We'll come back once we've decided what we want to do, and see if any denials, of course, from the Ultramarines. Still has some Librarians on the board, so we'll hopefully get some sight powers and start to whittle some of the Imperium down. Right, we are just back after quite an impressive Psychic phase by the Thousand Suns. Mortal Wounds being dished out everywhere. So Ahriman led the charge. He's been casting some of his powers. He tried to cast from him. He obviously went for Smite, of course, it's the obligatory. He did Doom Bolt onto this unit, but he did cast it off, but he also perilled, so he did lose a wound. That took one of the Terminators out straight away, put another one onto 1 wound, then with Smite, took the other one out, and then dropped this guy down to 1 wound. So 3 Terminators left. That was his powers done. Then with the rest of the powers, the Demon Prince cast Smite onto this guy and dropped him down to 1, and then attempted to cast, we cast Prescience onto the Rubrics, and then the rest of them, this guy didn't do anything, with Infernal Gaze, missed on these guys. However, over this side, the Dreadnought reduced down to 1 wound. That came from Smite powers from here, Infernal Gaze, and Death Hex was cast as well, first time of the game. So these guys can't take invulnerable saves. So with the Psychic phase all being completed, we are going to go into shooting. I'm just going to deliberate where I want to start. I think we'll probably start over here because I need that Dreadnought gone. And then we will come back if anything major happens. Alright, so we are just back after shooting phase for the Thousand Suns. Pretty decent, expected though. So down here, a lot of firepower coming in from the Rubrics, combined with the help of the Psychic support, has reduced the Lightning Claw Terminators down to 1, and obviously Death Exed as well, so not being able to take any in-runs for any minuses from the Solar Reaper cannon. Over this side, the split fire came into effect. I'll just come around this side so you can see a little bit better. So we shot the Solar Reaper cannon and the Hellfire missile launcher. We didn't actually need it, so we took out the Dreadnought. It didn't explode, and then the Infernal combi bolts, reducing the Devastator squad down to just 2 men left, the 2 large cannons. So they are diminished there. So just coming back, we do have 1 assault sent off, and that will be the Zangors. They haven't advanced this turn. Just here, they are going to attempt to get into combat with the Lightning Claw Terminator. So obviously no shooty weapons, but of course the assault shock, or whatever it's called, will come into effect for Graham.
The shock assault.
Yeah, the shock assault. Yep. So we'll see if we can get in first. Okay, so we do get a 5, which should be enough for us to get in.
Yep.
So we'll just pile in, and we'll come back once we've done that. Alright, so we are just opening up the assault phase with the Zangors. So with the Zangor blades, they each get an additional attack. So we have 15 attacks in total, and these are going to be going against the Terminator. So first time using Zangors, so we are hitting on 3s against the Lightning Claw Terminator. We don't have anybody nearby to help us, but I don't even think it would anyway. So hitting on 3s, that is a really good result there. And with the Zangor blades, it is strength of the user, so strength 4. They are pretty decent, they're a lot better than the likes of cultists here. So strength 4, toughness 4, running on 4s. Do these get death to the False Emperor? I don't think they do. No, I didn't think they did. So it'll be 4s to wound. So 2, 4, 6, 7 wounds by the Zangors. And the Zangor blades AP -1, so it'll be 3 up saves. No, he is killed.
Yeah.
Failed 3. Yeah. Yep. So that's that guy taken care of. We will of course get the consolidate at the end.
Another squad that didn't do anything?
Yeah. It's just all the mortal wounds, just reducing. And as for the assaults there, I'm going to split attacks, so I'm going to attack both of them. Because of the ability that we get for Heretical Fury, which is like my version of your shock assault. So I get 8 attacks now, so 7 attacks, and then plus the 1 for... Right, yeah, just had to double check, yeah, it is only if you were charged or made a charge. Obviously these lot haven't, so they won't get the plus 1. But we are going to still split the attacks, so I'm going to put 3 attacks onto the Primaris Librarian there, and then the 4 on the other one there as well. So we are hitting on 2s. Okay, so they all hit. And it is, for the Malefic Talons, it's Strength of the user. So the strength is 6. Oh, strength 7, sorry. So strength 7 against, what's his toughness?
4.
Okay, so we are wounded on 3s. So we do get 3 wounds. No death to the False Emperor on our hit rolls. And they are -2 to the AP and 2 damage apiece.
That's 5 ups.
Yeah, in one.
He doesn't.
Right, so 5 up's going to be your best save at this
yep.
anyway. I didn't know whether you had like an Iron Halo or anything like that. Okay, so he is killed.
Yeah.
So well done, Mr. Demon Prince there. And the other 4 attacks on the other one, hitting on 2s, rerolling any 1s for our own bubble, which we do get 1. And we do get 2 Death to the False Emperor, so we'll put these as hits. So 2 Death to the False Emperor, which we do generate another... We don't get an extra 1 for that again, so that has generated us 6 in total. And we are wounding on 3s. Cock dice there. Okay, so we can get 3 wounds there, and that's at -2.
2, 3, 4.
So 4 up is better than your in one, and 2 damage apiece.
Oh, for God's sake!
Oh. Yeah, so that's 2, 4, 6. I believe he's got 5 wounds.
Yes.
So that is him killed. So a successful assault from the Demon Prince there. So we will, of course, we will consolidate. I'll decide just beforehand, but just before we do that, a little bit out of sync, because that will be the end of the turn. So points that we've gained, we have Supremacy. So we are holding this one with the Exalted Sorcerer there. Armin's comfortably holding that one. And Objective 1 as well. So D3 points for that, which we'll just roll on camera. Okay, we do get 6, which gives us 3, which will put us 5, 6, 7, 8. So put these Thousand Suns storming ahead on points. It's not all over yet though, because Graham does still have a little bit of a contingent around here. So we'll trade that in, and the other one, obviously, Witch Hunter, becomes active again, because Graham denied us. Graham currently has no command points left. Because of Helm of the Third Eye, I have been recuperating, so I'm currently on 4. I haven't used any stratagems yet, but so we'll move on to the Ultramarines turn 3. We'll consolidate with these guys, and then we'll come back after movement. Right, so we are just in the midst of the movement phase, just going into the shooting phase for Ultramarines on turn 3. Yeah, sight phase. So cards that Graham's pulled out is Advance, that is to get out of your deployment. Defend Objective 3, which is over here, so it's a bit of a stretch. Kingslayer, there's not enough opportunity to take them out. I mean, if these were a little bit further this way, that would potentially get some firepower. And Master the Warp to cast some sighted powers. So Graham's just going to go into a sighted phase, so I might as well just cover it all on camera now, because we're starting to get to the late turns. It's only turn 3, and things have just been brutal between these 2 arch enemies. So with the 4-boss librarian, which powers are you going to attack? Soul Sight on them guys.
Yep, so it's a warp charge 6.
Okay.
And guess what?
It goes off and it doesn't go off. Smite.
Smite on the
Demon Prince. Warp charge 8 this time.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9 does go off. I will just double check if I'm in range to deny. Okie doke. Yeah, so I'm wondering if I could deny, and then I totally forgot. The Demon Prince is right there, so I'm going to attempt to deny. Do you need a 10 to deny this? On a 4, we don't, so Master of the Warp's been achieved, but D3 Mortal Wounds.
3.
Oh, takes him down to 2 wounds, because he is on 4. So a little bit of Psychic Smite there. The Demon Prince just screams out. His mind's just ripped apart slightly. And that's Psychic Phase done, so over to shooting. Might as well cover the shooting straight away as well.
Yeah, we'll do the shooting, so we'll actually try and take this Demon Prince out.
Try and take the Demon Prince out. He's not the Warlord, but it will just be for honour and glory.
Yeah, we will use the Eliminators to do it, and we'll use the Mortis rounds on the Sniper Rifle.
Mortis rounds. These are 1 shot a piece, I believe.
1 shot a piece. I'm just getting the information up now, because these are fairly new to me.
These guys also haven't moved, have they?
No one's moved, to be honest.
Yep.
Just booted. Yep, so they're in the heavy...
Which pivoting obviously doesn't class as moving in 40k, but it does in Kill Team.
Yeah, it does. So, yep, we're going to use the Mortis rounds on there. So it's heavy 1, strength 5, -2. 3 shots.
Okay.
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s against the Demon Prince. He's not protected by Glamour this time. Okay, so they all find their mark.
Yep. Need those 2 6s on the wounds. Strength 5.
Strength 5, toughness 6, so it'll be 5s to wound. No wounds done there.
Right.
Can the Faith and the Bolter come in handy
and
here?
we have Bolter Discipline on these as well.
Yep, so it'll be double shots for these guys.
So that is
10 shots.
10 shots.
They are all bolt rifles as well. The Sergeant is not equipped with a bolt pistol. I think he actually has it in his stats, but he's using a bolt rifle.
He's got the bolt rifle, yeah.
Okay, so hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s.
Faith in the bolter.
And this is obviously the tactical doctrines activated.
Yes, it is. I forgot to mention.
It is
yeah.
-2.
It's an extra -1, yeah.
Yeah. Hitting
on 3s. Nice roll. Strength 4, toughness 6. It'll be 5s to wound. Okay.
2 wounds.
-2. And that will be. We also didn't get Weaver Fates off on that guy to improve his save. So for his invulnerable save, I'm pretty sure he's got a 4+. Just need to double check. Unfortunately, I'm using the digital codex, guys, so it's a bit of a pain. I normally like the good old fashioned one. Yes, he does have a 4+ invulnerable. So 2 4+ invulns. Oh, we do fail 1. What's the damage? 1 damage.
No, it's actually D3.
It is D3.
It is D3.
It's an important roll here. For honour and glory.
Ah!
No command points to reroll it. So
nothing.
The Demon Prince is limping with 1 wound.
You know what? No, he's not. Because I'm going to split fire me las cannons.
Is that guy not got a bolt pistol?
Which one?
The Librarian.
Yes, the Librarian has got a bolt
Can the Librarian
pistol.
pinpoint the Demon Prince?
I totally forgot about that. So bolt pistol hitting on 3s.
Does bolt pistols get discipline? I don't
know.
Well, he's moved anyway, isn't he?
Pistols don't get the tactical discipline, so you won't get a minus on it.
Right.
So,
okay, so
straight as normal.
Hitting on 3s.
Hitting on 3s. Hits.
He does hit.
Wounding on 5s.
Yep.
No.
It does fail the wound. It's going to have to come from elsewhere to bring this down, or combat.
Split cannon. Split cannons.
Split cannon. Split las cannons.
Split las cannons from the Devastator squad. One at the Zangars. I'm going to get one right in the face, and the other's going to shoot it at the Demon Prince.
What? You're not going to do a charge? He's on 1 wound.
Nah.
This guy's full wound.
See what happens. I'm not leaving it.
Honouring God, you've dishonoured your
Let's
captain.
leave it to a dice roll. Right, so hitting on 3s. This is at the Demon Prince. Hitting on 3s. No!
Oh, the Signum's gone as well.
Yeah. So, the other one at
the Zangars.
Hitting on 3s. No!
I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
These rolls are terrible.
Yeah.
Going in the bin.
I think you're missing the captain.
Yes.
I think the captain's been a big miss for your re-rolls.
Been a kind of stable in me. In my lists, and I do miss them.
Okay, so that's the last card. That's all your shooting done, isn't
That's
it?
my shooting done. I've got.
Is it going to come down to assaults?
I've got 2 assaults to set off.
Okay, and where were these going?
Librarian into your demon.
Yes. Just straight up roll.
We're in.
He is in.
We're in. Get in there.
And of course, shock assault will come into effect in heretical
Chaplain into your Zangors.
Okay, no, we don't have any shooting weapons. Yep, he's in on a 10. Right, it's fine.
Yep.
It's pretty straight. Okay, so might as well cover the whole turn here. So where do you want to start?
Right, we'll start with the Librarian.
Librarian.
So that's the Librarian in the 4-boss armour.
He is, yeah. He's equipped with a 4 sword, I believe.
4 sword, yeah. I think he gets 3 attacks. Just want to double check.
3 attacks standard, I believe, isn't it?
4-boss armour, 3 attacks. No, 4 attacks.
4 attacks standard.
4 attacks
So
standard.
he'll get 5 for his shock assault.
5 for the shock assault. And we're hitting on 3s with the 4 sword.
4 sword for the Emperor. Well, yeah, 3 hits, yeah.
3 hits. It's strength of the user, so strength 4.
4 against, yeah, toughness 6 5s.
We get
2 wounds come through.
wounds. And it is 4 sword, it is -3.
4 up in buns. I'm going to do it one at a time. One at a time.
Go on then.
Can he survive? No! He is killed!
Good.
So, he doesn't explode or anything there. That's the Demon Prince vanquished there. So we'll just take him off. He's done his job there. So he returns back to the warp for another day. And of course, we do have an assault here with the chaplain, the warlord himself.
He didn't get off the.
Yeah, he didn't get his litany off. Litany of hate.
Yeah. So we are hitting on. No, sorry, we've got 4 attacks.
5 for
the shock assault.
The shock assault ability, yeah.
I did give him the relic.
Yes, it's like a beefed up Crossius Arcanum.
Benedictation of Fury, which is a beefier Crossius. We're hitting on 2s.
Hitting on 2s against the Zangors.
Oh, he's doing that. Right, I'm binning them.
I'm sorry, I don't need
I'm binning them. They're going.
I don't mean to, yeah, them dice have really betrayed you today.
They're going. Right, so hitting on 2s.
Strength 6, isn't it?
Strength 6.
So it'll be 3s to wound.
3s to... Well, if I get a double 1, that's it.
Oh. Okay, so what's the AP on these guys?
AP is... I didn't get any 6s, so no mortal wounds on that. AP is -2.
-2.
Damage 3.
Okay, so 5 up in ones, because they are protected by Zinch. So 2 are... Right, it's D3, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 of them are going to be killed. So take them 2 off at the back. And my attacks. So we don't get Heretical Fury. So it'll be 3 attacks for the Twistbrayer, who's still there. And then 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, so 2, 4, 6, 8. We get 11 attacks. He's got a relic, hasn't he?
Yeah, which is the Benedictation of Fury. Okay,
so Zangors get a nice little rule called Relic Hunters.
Right.
You can reroll failed hit rolls in the fight phase for when they target a character. Sorry, it's nothing to do with the relic, it's just a character. The old rules, if they had a relic on them. So they are going to be hitting on 3s. That was a drop dice. So hitting on 3s. We do get to reroll any failed hits against characters. Okay, so we do get quite a lot of hits there. And it is strength of the user, strength 4, toughness 4, is it?
Yep.
Okay, so 4's to wound. That is a nice roll from the Zangors there. So 2, 4, 6, we get 8 wounds coming through from the Zangor blades. And they are -1 and 1 damage.
Alright, -1, so that takes us up to
4
plus.
You'll have an Iron Halo as well, don't you?
I've got a Rosius, which is 4+ Invuln.
Okay, so 4+ is your best save.
4+ is my best save.
Okay,
just
so...
something, but yeah, 4+ is my best save.
8 4+ saves. How many wounds you got?
He has 5.
Okay, so you need, if you fail more than 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He's
Oh, he's on 1 wound, the Warlord. That is really, really lucky. He is in danger there. Zangors, they will have their morale. Might as well just do that. So highest leadership is 7. 8, 9, 10. No, that's wrong one. 3, and then we've lost 3. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so that is the end of your turn.
Yep.
Okay, and points scored. Obviously, you got.
I got Master Warp. So we did get a. Don't know why my dice keep missing there, but I did have a 4, so we're on 5.
Okay, and end of the turn, I have also achieved defend objective 5. No, 1, sorry. So that gives us 2 points, which puts us on 6, 7, 8, 9. Puts us on 10 to the Ultramarines 5 at this stage. So we will come back, obviously, after some deliberation as we continue on into Thousand Suns on their turn 4. Right, so we are just back after the end of Ultramarines on their turn 3. Ultramarines have called it. I can definitely see why. Just not enough models, not enough ground to take, and some unlucky cards as well. So we will just do a quick after game review. Bless you. That says inch there for you, or Nurgle anyway. So we'll quickly do an after game review, but it is a victory for the Thousand Suns against the forces of the Imperium. Right, guys, thanks very much for watching that battle report. Bit of a brutal one.
Devastating.
Yep. Yeah, devastating for the Imperium, yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah, so to start, we always like to do the kind of after talk about how the game went. So from obviously perspective of Thousand Suns, I thought it was quite brutal. Just the psychic powers from Thousand Suns is just brilliant. It's obviously the theme for them, and I thought I was quite impressed with a lot of the main units that performed well. Couple of little decisions I could have done a little bit different and maybe maximised, but otherwise it would have just been overkill. As from the Imperium's perspective,
just didn't get all the blocks. Not at all.
You had some very unlucky dice.
New codex, new rules to learn. I don't normally run a heavily psychic army. Don't run a lot of librarians. I think 4 is just a bit too much.
4's a bit too much. Thousand Suns player here.
For me anyway. Yeah. How I run my forces. I think I was expecting too much out of one unit as well.
That there, sniper guys.
Yeah. Again, new rules to learn, new codex.
There's a couple of nice things, hidden gems that will probably be in there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the stratagems, especially that like auto hit one that came in handy quite a few times.
I do like the tactical doctrines. The stratagems as well. Like you said, that one there, that auto hit, that's a good one. I just do need to have a look at
just a little bit of refining of the codex, isn't it?
Make some time, look at the codex again, make some more notes. Have a look at the stratagems. Just like you said, back to square one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was only 1,500 points, so you've got limitations on what you can bring in, stuff like that as well. I was going to be evil and bring Magnus at one point, but then I just thought, that's pretty much the entire army. And it would have just been carnage. And if he was killed, then I'd have been on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have just been too much.
Yeah.
So, I mean, on that note, awesome game. It's always fun to play daft little games like that. Kind of themed it around the whole psychic versus psychic, I suppose we did.
Psychic Awakening?
Yeah. I suppose so, yeah. But Zinch is more powerful with the psychic powers. But, so, model of the match. If you had to pick one, who would you say your model of the match was? Or unit of the game?
Eliminators did quite well. I was expecting a lot more of them, but my force just didn't, the position.
They couldn't hit anything today.
My force just didn't get out the blocks, to be honest.
They couldn't hit anything, there was loads of
Dreadnought was running backwards and forwards, and I don't know what happened. But the best one is probably out of the whole force was the Eliminators.
Yeah, they did okay actually. Yeah.
And they did.
With them being a new model, normally you get like new model syndrome where they just die and they don't do anything.
They didn't.
They actually didn't. I was quite surprised with my Zangors as well. New model. They didn't all die. Did quite well. Model of the match for myself, I would have to just go with Araman. I would have to go with Araman. He always performs really well. It's not very often he's killed.
Chief Librarian, isn't he? Is he classed as a Chief Librarian?
Yeah, essentially, yeah. So we'll have to have a Chief Librarian off once Tigris is all finished and painted.
Yeah.
Psychic.
Yeah, we'll
might like that.
Psychic off.
Yep. So on that note, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. Please check out the rest of the channel. Give us a like and a subscribe, and of course hit the ding ding, the bell button, so that you don't miss an upload. It's always fun games as well. We always try to have a laugh as well, so we don't take things too serious, and just play games really. We're grown men that play with little toy soldiers, so what more serious can you get? So thanks very much for watching, guys, and until next time, happy wargaming.